Oh, I just saw I hit the magic go live button, and there I am. Hello, one and all. Hi, Musical Aviator. How's it going? Yes, you got your free Google Nest Mini. Yes, I choose. Well, I've got this surveillance device with me at all the time, but those Home Assistant things are just a bridge too far for me. It's such obvious, complete surveillance of you for commercial purposes. I just can't get around it. Hey, Luke, how you doing? AZ is in the wow. I made the drink is lemon, lime, and pineapple, and the lemon is really coming through. It's really tart, as the saying goes, like your mum, but it's just slightly challenging to drink, which has taken me by surprise. I might drink a little bit more of it and then put something else in to try and take the edge off the lemon. A bit wussy, I know, but these are the trying times we find ourselves in. Yes, it's a strange old time. And oh no, go away. No, I don't want that. Yes. If you didn't notice, speaking of the Google Home or the Google Nest Mini or whatever the fuck these various surveillance devices are called, today is, what do we call it? Data Protection Day? Data Privacy Day. Today is Data Privacy Day. And we're talking about having no privacy whatsoever. Hey, Fox of 8, how's it going, man? I think why a lemon? Why? I think I'm drunk enough of that. Oh, I'm gonna put some of this pineapple coconut drink in here. But take the edge off the lemon side of it. Do a very classy mixing job. I'm mixing it just by pushing my ice cubes down with my finger. Luke, we're selling it all. Oh, selling all our data to China? Maybe. Okay, yes, that's taken the edge off the lemon. I am okay now. Hey, Adele, how you doing? I'm glad you appreciate my classy drink stirring approach. I try and keep it classy, quite honestly. Oops, I just realized I wanted to tweet that. So I've done that now. Yes. Ooh, what's this? Good. Oh my God. People are full of shit. People are deliberately sharing fake stuff about coronaviruses that they probably think is funny. They're trying to freak people out and say various train stations around Sydney have tested positive for the virus, and then they're saying various Asian or Asian-themed foods carry it. And you could tell the person is not really taking it seriously and is taking the piss with their deliberately false report, because they're saying it comes from the Department of Diseaseology, which I believe shares a campus with the Pons Institute. Yes. I know you got to run away midstream for the gym. That's fine by you. You go right ahead and do that. Yes, I mean, yeah, the other thing with people doing making up absolute bullshit about coronavirus is not even mildly surprising. But for some reason, it still really pisses me off. Like when I catch people sharing stuff on Facebook that is obviously fake, it's just like, fuck off. Like, why do you do this? What's AIDSy saying? Problem. Okay. He's restarting his computer. And we may see him in the next 10 or 15 minutes. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Yes, you are right. Adele people don't fact check anything. It honestly, it really does frustrate me when people share sensationalist stuff without the most basic fact checking or even common fucking sense. And I know that doesn't seem to be particularly common these days, but sometimes the fake stories are so obvious. Like it's just screaming at you, this is a fake story. And people do it anyway and share it. And it shits me. And I just think when someone sat down to deliberately falsify these things, I don't know, thinking they're funny, they want to upset people, they need a good fucking slap, quite honestly. I really have zero fucking tolerance for people who deliberately fabricate shit. And I have almost no tolerance for people who share obviously dodgy shit with not even the slightest fact checking. But the people who just consciously and deliberately make it up really fucking shit me. Mr. Gonzo, hello. I am doing quite well, thank you. And I hope you are too. What are you doing, Adele? You finished Kingdom Hearts 3. Ah, there you go. The stream helped you get through. That's good. My offspring, they didn't just play Kingdom Hearts 3. They got the remastered Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and played through them all. They got the remastered 1 and 2 just before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. And then they did the whole saga. Not really my type of game, but they seem to have fun with it. Huh. Fox, you heard a political figure blaming Asians for the world's ills. She didn't do very well. I don't know. She seemed to have a pretty solid career. Chantel, you know Snopes. Well, you know the conservatives who spread their bullshit have. This is not even recent, but they've started to say Snopes is a liberal, small L liberal plot. It's a left-wing plot. It's fake news designed to discredit them. And they say, why else would it say that everything I share is a lie? Because you share a lot of stuff that's lies. It's a weird circular, I won't even call it logical thinking because it's neither of those things. It's a circular argument that's going, it's like, I shared a thing that I think is true. An objective site provided evidence to say that that's not true. And it's like, oh, well, that site's part of the whole plot. It's like studies have shown conspiracy-minded people, it can be all but impossible to shake them from their conspiracy because sometimes conspiracies are just opinions, so you can't really disprove it because it's not objectively true or false. It's just opinion. But sometimes, a lot of the time, you can get overwhelming, compelling evidence to disprove the conspiracy and no evidence whatsoever to support the conspiracy. And when you show that to someone who's really wedded to the conspiracy, thinking, Well, here it is. Irrefutable proof they're wrong. You naively thinking that they will see the error of their conspiratorial thinking and will come over into the light. Studies have shown a significant majority of conspiracy-minded people will actually dig their heels in harder and declare that you are part of the conspiracy. And that's why you believe this ridiculous fact, because you're part of the conspiracy. Miss Foxification, hello and good evening to you. Oh, yes, I've seen that one too, Foxifate. The conservative, well, right, I think you're right to say right-wingers rather than conservatives, were upset that Wikipedia was biased to the left. And they have Conservapedia, which is just propaganda, like including incredibly weird fundamentalist religious propaganda. Very, very strange stuff. Bobo, you don't know what Kingdom Hearts is. It's a game, possibly for multiple platforms. I know it's on PlayStation. And all these different Disney characters are in it, which includes Pixar characters, because Disney owns Pixar as well. And you have all these challenges against them. Kyle, happy Privacy Day from Redacted. Yes. Yes, I know what you meant, Chantel. Definitely. I like that misfoxification. I think, therefore I am has become I believe, therefore I am right. Yes. Would you, Bobo, you found a pre-PSVR Kingdom Hearts download. Oh, okay. So, yeah, it's, yeah, your main character that you play is a kind of anime-looking thing. I don't even know what he is, but you play with Donald Duck and Goofy, and you come across all these other Disney and Pixar characters when you're going through the different Kingdom Hearts worlds. Abigail, hello to you. I'm doing well. I hope you are too. I still have the remnants of this cold, sore throat, but it's not that severe. I was a bit bleh this morning and a bit unsure how well I'd go at work, but I had a good day. Thanks for asking. Kyle, where's my friend, my conspirator in crime? He says he's coming here. He's having computer problems, which we were going to solve with the age-old method of switching it off and switching it back on. So hopefully he might show up in 10 or 15 minutes. He might show up in the next 30 seconds. Who knows? The world is mysterious and strange, never more than when AIDS is in it. Is a very mysterious and strange person. Oh, God, Justin, you're in Canberra. Hello. It's not just a bushfire warning. It looks really fucking severe. I've seen photos. It looks like very large and dangerous fires right up on Canberra. Not good at all. And even if it doesn't, burn down people's houses and whatnot, I don't hold out much hope for your air quality for a couple of days. It looks absolutely brutal. Bobo is the problem AIDS himself. 50-50 chance. There is a 50-50 chance that the problem's actually AIDS. And that literally goes in any given situation. If there's any situation where something goes wrong and AIDS is about, there is at least a 50-50 chance he's behind it. Kyle, good. Be a partner in crime. I like having partners in crime. Oh, yeah, misfoxification around Canberra being told to shelter because it's too late. That's, again, explaining that to people outside of Australia was what we learned from the Black Saturday fires. Prior to that, we'd never really had the catastrophic warning. The warning's like, you are in terrible danger, but it is now too late. Trying to get out is more dangerous than just staying where you are and hoping you survive. Because until, that Black Saturday fires, we really didn't know exactly how devastating fires could be fires that could move at over 100 kilometers an hour and just devastate whole towns. So yes, that good old "it's too late." And the number of people I know on the internet who, when they've updated their social media with, "Oh, we just got the it's too late" text message. It's absolutely terrifying that we have that. And you send that to whole towns or cities. It's just like, it's too late if you're not already out. Fuck. I hope for the best. Oh, wow. Abigail, that's awesome. You're a computer expert for your friends, and you recently broke Apple's hard drive encryption to retrieve data from a friend's deceased mother's laptop. Wow. Good on you. Oh, well, Justin, I'm glad for you. You're in the north, fires are in the south. Hopefully they don't encircle the whole place. So I hope things stay safe for you. Oh, yeah, and a heat wave. That's right, Fox. God, we've been so spoiled this summer in Melbourne. We've missed most of the heat waves, and we often get really bad heat waves in January, February, and even into March. So it was like 24 today, 29 tomorrow, then 37 on Thursday, 40 on Friday, 32 on Saturday, and then probably a big thunderstorm. So we'll probably get big fuck off hailstones again, because why fucking not? The weather's just been like that. Kyle, yes, thanks for throwing that in. Scummo is the worst. He absolutely is. Abigail, mention this because if your friend's having computer problems, be happy to help. Well, Abigail, you have to come over to my place at some point first, because it would just be lovely to see you again. We haven't seen you for ages. I know we had dumplings in the city once. We were both just hanging out in the city, and I was on Twitter going, "Who wants to have lunch?" And Abigail and I went to a nice dumpling place, of which there are a lot in Melbourne. Sorry, I didn't say hi to Locust Trooper either, I don't think. Hey, Locust Trooper. But yes, on the computer front, you were going to help me with tips and whatnot. Sorry, Timothy, you want to say death to anti-vaxxers? Quite literally, in many cases, or to their kids, anyway. But yes, anti-vaxxers are fucking garbage. I don't have a lot of time for them. Yes, Abigail, you're going to help me with things like, oh God, what's that platform called? God, I'm losing nerd credentials really hard. I was going to say Slack, but that's a work one. Discord. That's right. I'm aware of the existence of Discord. I don't really know everything you can do with it, though. But yes, I should actually hire you as a freelance technical consultant, Abigail. Justin, that's another good one. Death to climate deniers, except that's going to be for all of us because of the climate deniers, which is incredibly disturbing. Yes, let me get over my cold, whether it's next weekend or the weekend after would be good. Yeah, we will organising it. I love that description, Miss Foxification. Discord's kind of like IRC, but 90% edgelord teenagers. Yeah. Timothy, who would I say? Andrew Bolt or an anti-vaxxer? No. I wouldn't save either of them. Probably an anti-vaxxer, because they're not by definition racist and misogynist as well. Like a strip, have I seen you and this idiot South African ever war at Facebook? Oh, wow. Sounds like you're having fun, man. Wrecking him with videos. Good on you. I've never had the patience, and I do see stuff every sort of other day. It's someone who's a complete fucking mutant on Facebook or in public, and I really want to tear them apart. But I just don't want to go down that road. I don't have the fucking patience to put something together to rip on them. So what I'm saying, Kyle, I'm losing any nerd credibility I had mixing up Slack and Discord. Justin, your friend reckons if there were climate trials, they'd probably be held in China. They'll be held on the streets, my friend. There'll be roving packs of Mad Max style wasteland warriors grabbing people who look like they used to be in the LNP and doing what wasteland warriors do. I think there'll be a bunch of that. Bobo, I haven't got the new controversy or whatever it's called, have you? I don't know. Oh, a virus. Coronavirus. No, I just have a pretty mild cold. Bit of a sore throat. He's got vitamin C in it. He's got lemon and lime and pineapple now. This is basically a health tonic. So yes, a decent amount of vitamin C in that might help me. Kyle, have I seen any good movies? What have I been to recently? Towards the end of the year, I saw two that I think were my favorite for the year. I saw Jojo Rabbit, the Taika Waititi film about the little boy who's in the Hitler Youth who has Hitler as an imaginary friend, and Taika Waititi, a Jewish Maori man, actually plays Hitler, which is hilarious. It was a very good movie, as all Taika Waititi films are. And I saw Knives Out, which is written and directed by the guy who wrote and directed The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson. And it's great. Really sort of old school vibe murder mystery. Like it had an Agatha Christie vibe. It's an original story, but it really had like an Agatha Christie vibe. Very good. Abigail, you think a liter a day is a habit for Diet Cola? I do Pepsi Max and probably 2 liters a day. 3 on a bad day. But yes. Actually, the guy after his name's Pensa is Winston Frederick Sturzel. Really? That means he's like old school Afrikaans, like the Germanic names in South Africa. That's the Boer name. So that's the real old school racism right there. And hello, Fila and Sila and Safa. Hello. Justin, you're not worried about the virus. It's like swine flu or SARS. It's like them in that it kills you. It's not good to be overly paranoid and totally freaked out. But as I said, often I urge caution with people who go, "Oh, it's nothing," because one day it won't be nothing. What's AIDSy doing? He's coming. Okay. Safa, do I use a VPN? No, I do not. Which I'm completely okay with saying is very bad safety practice on my part. What did you see, Kyle? On top of that, you saw Jojo Rabbit. Bombshell? Bombshell looks good, but I just can't wrap my head around trying to make anyone who worked for Fox News a hero, even if they turned on Fox News. Peanut Butter Falcon, which I saw a trailer for, it looks interesting. Bad Boys for Life. Yikes. I'm not sure about that one. And Underwater, which I don't know. You're all caught up. And High Lion Spider. What was the last one? Oh, the last one I went and saw was Star Wars. I think that was like which was, fine. They wrapped it up. I thought they made some dumb as fuck decisions in it. But hey, they can't all be as good as The Last Jedi, or not if they don't keep the director. David Spears moved to the ABC. I don't know who David Spears is. I'm trying to think, what else did I see? I saw Parasite towards the end of the year. And I don't know if it's just that everyone had been hyping it as best ever. I enjoyed it, but I didn't think it was best ever. What's he saying now? Cool. I think he's just still having computer troubles. Did I say hi, Lion Spider? I think I did. Hello. Abigail, the Star Trek Picard. Yes, I did watch the first episode. It's pretty good. Pretty good. At least they look like they're going to challenge the old things like Picard left the Federation because the Federation leaned too far into its authoritarian tendencies. They set up a lot. Looks like it's going to be interesting, so I'm looking for it. Tradies and Poltergeists being booted out. Not entirely sure what you mean there. Yeah. Okay, Kyle wants to do some film reviews. Let me go over onto Facebook because then I can send you a message. Come on, load. Okay. Okay, this is really working. Ah, there we go. Jesus. Kyle. Trying to get this shit working. Oh, there you are. Why wasn't your name coming up? Oh no, dude, god damn it. Oh, come on. This laptop, man. Okay, that's the wrong link. That is the wrong link. Why was it doing that? I'm gonna try, invite, copy, trying again. All right. Okay. Man, why is this laptop screwing me around so much? It was, but it's okay. And I sent you a link, Kyle, so you can give us some film reviews. So do I go to Hoyt's? I would go to a Hoyt's. I often go to independent cinemas, and I sometimes go to the Village Gold class. I like that whole experience. Ooh, nice, Safi. He's Kyle. There he is. Hi. Okay, film review time with Kyle. Give us the lowdown.
Well, let me first say that I haven't seen you in so long since I was at VidCon in Melbourne, and it's so actually good to chat to you again.
Yeah, it's great.
So when I last did, I just finished a festival and I needed to feel like I needed to kind of get back to my whole like movie route. So I literally just spent a week going to the film. So first off, I saw Jojo Rabbit, which completely surprised me. I thought it was going to be highly inappropriate, but then I watched it and I thought that what was really great about it was that you did kind of have this really interesting and fun plot that a lot of people will find too like politically incorrect, but it was very fun. The way that Taika really kind of dealt with that was he really made sure that that if you got it, you got it. And I've seen people who just have not got it, and the people that don't get it, like some of you I love you, but some of you I'm like, I think you're pretty stupid. But I love you. Bombshell was extremely well made.
Yeah.
Because I watched the film and then after that I watched the Megyn Kelly 20-minute reaction video to Bombshell, and that was quite interesting. And I like because I mean I don't love Fox News, but I love that kind of world of the media industry because it's the industry I'm in. So I kind of also know a lot of people who are in that as well. So I really liked it. I think Megyn Kelly is amazing. I think that Nicole Kidman was amazing. Margot Robbie, should she have gotten like any form of like BAFTA nomination? I'm not sure. Then that night I saw The Peanut Butter Falcon, which you said you saw a trailer of, which I thought was
that's Shia LaBeouf, isn't it?
That is the new Shia LaBeouf film. It's not his directing film. That's a film called Honey. It's coming out later next month, I think, which I think is only getting an independent release. And yeah, so it's kind of about the Down syndrome kid, and I really love that film because I think what it does is it is this kind of really beautiful, sweet, amazing film that, because a lot of times you have disability films that are so voyeuristic and they're like, I want to make you feel like you're great, and then it's kind of like, it's almost like a bit of a straight white cis able-bodied kind of thing where it's like, feel my wokeness, and my door is about to close, feel this like my wokeness in this whole thing, and I'm just like, honey, chill. So yeah, and then I saw Bad Boys 5, which actually surprised the shit out of me how much I enjoyed it. Bad Boys for Life was one of those films that made me think, okay, this is going to be a really crazy fun ride. But what it actually was it actually had a lot of great direction. There was a lot of playing of like, was something going to happen? Was something not going to happen? Instead of like, not false equivalencies, but like the aspect of you trying to be like, oh my God, I can't believe, oh wait, no, that person is still alive. So you kind of do play with these whole things as well. And it's fun, it's quirky. And if you wanted 2 hours that you just want to spend completely in just genuinely having a good popcorn film, it's the popcorn film of the year, pretty much. Cool. That's pretty much goes without saying, I think, unless there's a new Star Wars film coming out this year, in which I do not know. Underwater, starring Kristen Stewart, Vincent Cassell, John Gallagher Jr. from The Newsroom, is a very interesting concept told 10 years too late, given the fact that we've moved on in regards to horror films from people like Jordan Peele and Ari Aster. And those sort of directors have done a really good job of trying to put a more interesting face to horror. To me, Underwater is too simple of a concept and it doesn't work. It's very much like Cloverfield as if it was directed by a mainstream studio with mainstream stars. It's kind of, you enjoy it and you get scared a little bit, but at the end of the day, it is ridiculously boring. And honest to God, I don't know who greenlit it, but it should not have existed.
Oh, so a lot of thumbs up and 1 thumbs down, I think. So our Locust Trooper, who's a regular in the chat's asking, are you replacing AZ? No, this is guest film reviews from Kyle.
This is guest film reviews.
For ages, but it's the first time we've chatted directly for quite a while.
Yeah, so totally. I mean, I'm about to head off to college and study film, so this is a great little thing. Yeah, I'm going to Australian Film, Television, and Radio School next month to do a 3-year BA in screen production. So next time you'll be talking to me, you might be interviewing me about a feature film or a short film that I have going around the world.
Nice.
So yeah, I'll be at VidCon being like, hey guys, what's up?
Nice.
I feel like that there's a very interesting conversation that you and I can have about the YouTube community sometimes, about whether or not what you think about it. Do you think it's too political? Do you think it's too polarizing? Do you feel like you have to be in this kind of niche, specific group to be liked? And it always seems to feel like there's this kind of, not cattiness, let I say, but there always seems to feel like this very sort of big thing where if you just literally slightly out of the mold, or you're not seen as somebody who is who can be liked, then you kind of just fall by the wayside.
It's a minefield without a doubt. Actually, there was an interesting question. Who was it? I saw. But the question was, Philia and Sela is asking, do you have a favorite YouTube movie reviewer, Kyle? Is there someone whose reviews you like on YouTube?
I really enjoy Chris Stockman. I think what he does do is combine a lot of humor with reviewers. I used to really like Grace Randolph, and then she kind of shot herself in the foot many times, to the point where I just think she lost a lot of credibility in specifically that scene, in the kind of movie review scene. Who else do I like? I mean, there's not really. I'm trying to think of more people who kind of do it. I mean, when Screen Junkies was kind of that big thing, especially was still under the kind of Clever Media banner. That was very good, but so before it was sold, I think, to somewhere else. But yeah, no, I mean, that was crazy, wasn't it? Yeah, so I think for me it's Chris Stuckman, because I think what he does do is provide that really quite fantastic reference point. Everything's quite great. He's very down to earth. It's not like, hey guys, what's going on? Today we're reviewing Cats, and Cats was amazing. Honestly, I swear to God, anyone who fucking reviews Cats and does it a good review, you will never have respect for me anymore as a reviewer.
Just the way you're saying it's almost like that really common and quite annoying style of presenting on YouTube. Hi guys, how's it going? Which came out of the Let's Plays, really. Like PewDiePie. But I'm trying to find it. I saw this thing. It's a nightmare.
You talking about the Cats movie trailer that's like horror?
No. This is someone who does videos in that style, like, hi guys, hit the like button. But his subject matter, I'm trying to find the tweet, because I won't do it justice if I don't find the actual tweet. It shouldn't. It was only a day or two ago I saw it. It shouldn't take me. Oh, I'm looking in the wrong place. That's why I'm.
By the way, has what's his name? Has Bering got off you yet?
Oh, fuck knows. I haven't heard anything from him for.
You haven't heard anything from him? God, that was so fucking funny. Because I remember you and I talking about it in Melbourne, and I was just like, it was just kind of crazy.
Oh, the dude was obsessed. It was weird.
Yeah, I think he's obsessed with a lot of people.
Yeah,
I remember him. I remember watching his videos, and especially like he would do so much stuff, and I just literally sit there and think, wow, this guy's really fucking annoying. And like in some sort of respect, like I maybe like 1% or maybe 2% of the time I'd agree with him, but so seldomly that I just kind of think. And I also think like anyone who kind of hides behind a screen anyway is kind of like, why? Like, you're a YouTuber. I give you cred for showing your voice, but you lose some cred because you don't want to show yourself on video. Is that because you know you're hiding something, or what?
Oh, in his case, like with these right-wing fuckheads, they'll never get another job if they're known, if their face is associated with that sort of hard right bigotry. I found the thing I was looking for, and I'll share it with you. The first is a screenshot of his channel name is I'm Jay Station, and he gets millions of views, right? And there's a video, my girlfriend Alexia died, rest in paradise. Then the next video was saying my last goodbye to my girlfriend Alexia, and the thumbnail is him fake crying with an improvised shrine to her. And then the next video was dead girlfriend a Ouija board challenge at 3 a.m.
Oh my God, I think I remember this.
he deleted all these videos. A bunch of like, I'll see if I can find. There was an actual little bit of video. If you think, here it is. If you think I'm exaggerating about,
no, it was really
look, it's performance art. It is some really fucking weird performance art. I've got to do the share screen thing.
Yeah.
And where are we? My Chrome tab. I will play this for you.
It's so bad.
It's clearly not genuine. Like, it's clearly some weird performance art. But check this out.
Guys, back with another 3 a.m. challenge. As you guys know, my girlfriend Alexia just passed away in a tragic accident.
Oh, it froze.
I cannot get over her, guys. I miss her so freaking much. A ton of you guys actually been commenting.
Okay, that's just going to keep buffering. But you can see that style is obviously not genuine. It's obviously not genuine. It's
I don't know why, but people have got this aspect of like they need to be so fake on YouTube, and I just think we all need to be a bit more Philip DeFranco. There's an Aussie YouTuber who I will not suggest the name of, who I genuinely no, I'm actually not going to say it because that's too close to. And this person has a particularly horrible way that they do videos, and it just annoys me so much. And they know exactly who they are because they blocked me off Facebook. I think it actually had gotten back to them that I had these thoughts about them. But I honestly think after what I had heard about this person that they just was so fake. And honestly, it just still to this day, I'm like, oh, it just, whenever I watch their videos, they're probably I mean, I've met this person in real life, but even then I just was like, you are so fake. But there are other YouTubers that, I mean, can I spill the tea right now?
You do whatever you want. Disclaimer, I'm not taking responsibility for anything Carl said.
So I'm not saying any names. I'm not saying any names.
All right, don't say any names. Okay.
So I'm going to preface by saying that, but I'm going to tell you a bit of like a story. So before I came out as gay, I went to Game On, right? Which was back in would you go to Game On?
I don't remember.
The one in Sydney that was in Redfern that everyone was like, oh my God, it was during Vivid.
I did, yes. No, sorry, I did go to that. Yes, I knew the people who were running it.
So there was a panel about chicks in video. And I wanted to kind of discuss the aspect of like other minority groups as well, because I think especially during that time, it was actually a very hard time for LGBT creators. And a certain YouTuber, again, not naming names, and who's actually very, very influential now, by the way, basically said, do you have any thoughts about this? And I walked out and I spoke to this person after, and we had a really great connection. And I said to this person, would you mind helping me and mentor me through YouTube? Because I don't exactly know how it's going to work, and I don't know how I'm going to deal with comments. That person never responded to me, and to this day does not know who the fuck I am. And it is ridiculously frustrating. So whenever I see his videos, this person's videos, they are so fake. They clearly have put on everything that they do. And it just makes me so frustrated. And I don't know if this person really cares or if that person knows who I am, but it is ridiculously frustrating. And everyone's like, oh my God, you're so amazing. And I'm just like, you are so fake. Yeah. You all need to like understand that you've like really cut the cord, and you could have had a really great friend, and I would have loved to have support you. But honey, like, shut the fuck up.
Does this person's name start with M?
No.
Cool, that it's not who I thought it was.
Who did you think it was?
I'm not going to say that because
you can chat to me later.
We're bitching at. That's okay. That's I love these quotes. Miss Foxification has some quotes from one of the co-founders of Twitter. If you create a system that rewards attention, the easiest way to get attention is to be a bad actor. That underlines our media ecosystem. That underlines our political system, and it's degrading society in so many ways. Yes, that is a good way to summarize why people do all this fake shit, because they get attention for it.
But the thing is, like, I mean, that's the big problem right now, which I think sometimes we need to look at how we can reverse that and actually give the attention to where people need to go. Like, it's just so annoying. Like, everyone clicks because it sells and shit. And I was watching a couple of days ago a segment about Carlos Mazar versus Steven Chowder a couple of days ago from last year or the year before, whenever it happened. And they were talking about the YouTube algorithm and saying this is the point of the YouTube algorithm. It's that it's basically to get people on the site, get people blogging, get people YouTubing, and just get people who engage in that sort of content and basically just basically shit talk people. And yeah, it's just really sad because and you also lose your voice as well. Like when you say to somebody, this is what I think, you lose all of that power in what you say, because everyone is taking those words and feeding that into the echo chamber of YouTube or just of life in general. And so what happens is that you have no control over what you say anymore. You lose context. It's so shit, and it's crazy. And I'm assuming by what I said about a couple of YouTubers before, it's probably going to get taken out of context whenever it comes back to anyone that they do or don't like.
Yeah, and I mean, once you get into that personality stuff on YouTube, like, it gets polarizing so fast. Like, one that I'm quite fascinated to see how angry people get is ContraPoints, Natalie Wynn.
Oh my God, I love ContraPoints.
So do I. You get all these people who are so fucking angry at her. And it's like all of us, she's a flawed person. And yet you can point out a bunch of mistakes, a bunch of bad statements, a bunch of very poorly worded statements, and questionable choices. But some people, and what I'm trying to say there is there are genuine things to hold up and say, I have concerns about this. But you just see some people go psychotic at literally anything she says or does. They go way off the deep end. It's like, wow.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, and I don't support this guy anyway, but some could actually say the same about Jordan Peterson. He's an absolute cunt, which is fine. But you could argue that there are people on the left who would totally take whatever he says. And he's a ridiculous, and I mean, I've seen videos with him. He's a ridiculously well-educated and an incredibly competent debater. He can turn you as an interviewer into a person where you're actually considering that changing your frame of mindset because of something he's just said, and you're thinking about it, you're going, what? So I think that's the thing is that, like, the same thing that can be said about Jordan Peterson can be said about ContraPoints, is that it's the right-wing people who just genuinely hate her. And it's the same thing with Jordan Peterson, where the left technically hate him. Whether or not you agree or disagree is kind of invalid right now. It's more about the fact that people just pile on for the sake of piling on, whether or not there's any sort of factual reasoning for piling them on.
Yeah, but the thing that fascinates me with ContraPoints is she gets piled on by the left, by members of.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, have you not? No, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about right-wingers hating on her.
Oh.
I'm talking about other trans people, and particularly some non-binary people who think she's sort of blanked their identity. And some people got super, super angry, not completely without justification, that she got a trans man, Buck Angel, to just actually pretend to be John Waters. He was reading a John Waters quote. So, and Buck Angel does porn, and Buck Angel's about my age. So
yeah, I know Buck Angel. Yeah,
he's from a different generation.
Yeah.
To compare, and so the way he phrases things is well different to how a lot of young trans activists speak today. And so because of some of his pronouncements, he's become public enemy number one with a lot of young trans activists. And because Natalie used him to do a voice in one video, some people absolutely lost their shit.
Look, I will say because I mean I am a queer activist as well because you know I'm that way.
You're that way.
I'm that way. I'm left wing and I'm gay. I think a lot of times society tends to spill a lot of these sort of subtextual things, and I don't know much about this, and I sort of don't want to comment until like I get an understanding of what's going on, because there's probably contextual stuff. Problem is I like to take the whole Michelle Visage approach to this sort of thing. If we as a community keep fighting with our own community, we lose respect from the movable middle, which is exactly the people that we need to be changing face. And we actually need to be saying, hey guys, support us, not denigrate us or denigrate us to our own community. And also, who the fuck wants to support a community of people that basically just rival against their own fucking community all the time?
Yeah,
I think that's the problem.
It's a bit fraught. And like I said, while I think there are genuine, legitimate things to hold up and say, hey, you know, that wasn't great that you said or did that. I have also seen a number of people who clearly just have something exceptionally personal against Natalie Wynn and react absolutely rabidly to everything she does. And I don't really think their arguments are legitimate.
I mean, look, there is a lot happening right now in regards to the changing attitudes of like sex, sexuality, and gender. And I think what we're sort of seeing is the fact that a lot of people are coming to the table, and a lot of emotion is being transmitted through all these different forms of media and all these different ways. And I think what we're seeing is the fact that we have got now non-binary, genderqueer, all these different aspects of gender that probably weren't popular. They were existed, but they probably weren't as like in the now, like than it was maybe 15, 20 years ago. Because I sure as hell wasn't going to high school thinking about gender neutral or gender non-conforming. And I think a lot of people tend to laugh at that point, and that's why I advocate for people who are non-binary actually able to own that space and say, who am I? What am I? And that you can talk to the movable middle. It's not about talking to the right wing, because the right wing are just fucktards and they'll attack you at every single point. But if you can get someone to understand what is non-binary, what is genderqueer, what is kind of this, why is gender for you on a spectrum of saying, I'm not specifically male and I'm not specifically female. And I think that there is a lot of a discussion about helping to understand that, rather than saying, hey, like, attack this person. And I think we just need to chill a little bit, and we need to let people own their own space. I don't know if Natalie is trans. No idea. I think she is.
She is, yes.
Yeah.
Because you look at earlier videos, I'm not sure if, I think they're still up, but she hadn't gender affirmed at that stage. She was still presenting male in the early videos.
Yeah, it was funny because I actually did an interview with AJ maybe like 2 years ago before.
Yeah.
When AJ was still presenting as, but not pre-transitioned, but assigning herself agender pronouns. And now that because she messaged me like 3-4 months ago and said, Kyle, I'm so happy to get in touch with you. Can you possibly delete that podcast episode of you and I talking? Which we kind of did. We actually, I mean, I don't really care about it. And honestly, I think it's a good aspect of understanding who AJ was, but I can understand her wanting to delete it. So we just decided to. But I just think it's so interesting kind of hearing, Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say hi to Lisa in the chat. And I love Miss Foxification. She suggested ignore the rage brigades. Their rage and offendedness is a drug to them. And there's a fun little back and forth. Miss Foxification, I know someone who prides herself on being offended. She genuinely believes she's fixing the world. She's never happy. She's always angry and raging on something. She's headed for a stroke. And Musical Aviator replied, oh, do you know my mum then? which is pretty good.
See, it's funny because when I was writing my short film that I'm still seeking funding for, when I was kind of coming up with the title for the film, it was kind of 6 months in the making, trying to get the perfect title. And then we got the title, and I told my friend who was my director on it, and he said he spoke to a couple people and were like, "What? This title is horrible." And to me, personally, I looked at that title and went, "That's not. I mean, it's not. To me, there is no difference between that word and other words that exist towards other marginalized communities, because to me, there's no difference." So when I use the term, I use the term Aspie in my film because I have Asperger's. So my film title is Party with the Aspie. Now, a lot of people are like, what? That's like so like ridiculous and stuff. And I was like, well, no, because I've always known myself to be somebody who is an Aspie, and there's no kind of, it's not the same as me calling it's not party with the faggot or party with the retard or party with this. It's literally just a shorthand version of my disability. So I think sometimes we're so wound up in society by trying to do the best that we can. And I see that so much these days. Oh god.
I think most people on the spectrum are okay with Aspie as a thing. I says it all the time. You just remind me, two of these words for how well a day's going. Like if the autism is kicking in a bad way, if it's a good day, it's an aspidacious day. And if it's a bad day, it's an I have so much trouble saying aspidastrous, as in disastrously aspie day.
Wow.
A good day is like a bodacious day is aspidacious. Bad day is aspidastrous.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Got that fucked in my head a little bit.
Good words.
Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of the thing, is that I feel like people are so directly affected by. I mean, I want people to be allies and I want people to be advocates, but I also don't want. I feel like so many people have this like fake bit of wokeness right now, and it's really silly, because you want people to support you, but you also don't want people to go out there and be like, I'm gonna destroy you, not personally, but I'm gonna destroy the aspect of your own community because I need to somehow. I'm trying to use the right word here. I'm not talking about like eliminating the fact that you have a prejudice and that you need to kind of work for that.
Yeah.
But there are just people out there who I know and are aware of who genuinely, because of something, will pretty much be completely fake and will just want to serve a purpose for the fact of this. And it's kind of this agenda pushing political thing, and it happens so much you have no idea. I mean, it's just ridiculous, but I'm not going to say where because I still have a knife.
Yeah. I've heard the term performatively woke, as in people who push it front and center. Look at how woke I'm being, and I get why that wears thin. Particularly in someone who is an ally, like if it's straight white cis male is wanting to be supportive of more marginalized groups, that's a great thing. But when someone makes it their entire identity and really pushes out, look what I'm doing, I'm super ally, look at me, look at me, look at me.
It's like, I have to send you a photo of something later after this chat, and your mind will be blown. Especially with the fact of how there's so much. I mean, the gender patriarchy, the gender not patriarchy, what the parody the kind of 50-50 thing that
Yeah.
gets created, and there's a photo going around of specifically something which I'm not going to mention,
Okay.
of something happening that is insane to this day, and I am completely surprised that shit happens. But it's I still want to work, so I'm not gonna be like, yeah, this has all happened. But it's completely crazy, and it's
So Lisa's saying she's watching us rather than Shitty Channel 10, which is a good choice. Also mentioned looking forward to my new channel. I'm Kyle. I'm starting my first new YouTube channel in ages.
Oh my god, what are you doing?
It's going to be a cocktail channel because I like making cocktails. And I'm going to tie that in because it's the halfway mark where I often make a cocktail. And often when I'm doing a live stream, I try to come up with a theme. And so I look to see, is this day marked by anything? And today was a big obvious one. It was Data Privacy Day. But it's also National Kazoo Day in the US and Blueberry Pancake Day.
So do you come up with the name of a cocktail, or do you actually come up with a cocktail?
Both. Sometimes I just make a classic. And in fact, what I'm going to do now is just make a classic. And sometimes I do my own variations, and we have a competition to come up with the best name for a cocktail. Sometimes I'll make someone a signature cocktail. Say, okay, what flavors do you like? Tell me something about your personality.
I mean, you pretty much know that already.
Yeah, but I already had one in mind because it's also what's known in the US, some parts of the US, as Rattlesnake Roundup Day, where they have this weird thing with actual rattlesnakes. And there's a cocktail that I quite like called a rattlesnake, and I'm going to make. And I'm going to invite Lisa in as well to the chat because Lisa's always fun. I'm going to send you the link on Facebook.
I was like, what does rattlesnakes have to do with me?
No, I'd have to, a different day. I'll have to do one for you. Let me do a new.
I mean, I'm pretty much a month word. Just do one on Pride, and then you can do like a rainbow shot.
A rainbow one, yes.
A rainbow cocktail. There are so many gay fucking cocktails out there.
Yeah, cocktails are pretty gay, honestly. You know.
I mean, look, James
very
Bond
bright,
and we're all like, look at this fag boy.
Oh, it's just kind of funny that I can get, particularly the right wingers, the men's rights advocates, trying to shame me somehow for drinking cocktails because it's not manly enough. And I'm like, dude, whatever,
What did you think about what's her name, Bettina Arndt or whatever?
Oh God, she's garbage. Look, I'm gonna make a drink, and then we'll talk about it. Lisa should be in. So, shelf warmer is a kazoo berry a drink? Miss Foxego should make an anti-Dutton cocktail. It's the enemy provides kind of like a kazoo.
You know what? Just build a drink that has just water and then a little house, and then just fill it up to the house. Did you get the reference?
No.
Oh my god. Okay, a couple years back.
Hello,
Lisa.
Hi, I'm watching you on my TV actually because
cool.
It's a much better look than Oh, there I am! Holy fuck, my head is huge.
You're gonna end up with a delay on there.
It's all right.
You two chat. I've got to get a couple of ingredients so I can make.
Hello, Kyle.
Hello, Miss Lisa.
How are you?
I am good. I am relaxed. I am chilled from work. I am just chillaxed.
Mad. Yeah, I'm just writing a video at the moment, and I have to go to bed soon. So I thought I'd try and be social and jump on here.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm writing. Talking about gender like whole thing. I'm actually writing a video about the religious discrimination bill as we speak.
Oh my god! So you're kind of in a lot of the discussions around. Have you talked about like safe schools on your channel at all?
Not yet, because I'm in the Reason Party, so like that is like a huge deal to us.
Oh my god! I love doing a pattern.
Oh, she's brilliant. She's such a lovely person. I'm actually going to Mardi Gras with them this year. So
Are they marching this year?
Yeah, they got a float.
Oh my god! If Fiona Patton's there, I so want to just meet her because I fucking love her so much. I've tried to like get in contact with her, and it's very hard.
You can join our party for free, right?
Is there a New South Wales branch?
Yes, there is. We just got one.
Possibly. I'm not a huge fan of joining a political party because we're like
the political party that makes sense. We have this thing called evidence. Yeah, and
I was going to say somewhere in my bookshelf I have a book which is written by the great Benjamin Law.
Oh yeah,
which is it this one? Yes, it is. I don't know if you've ever read it or you'll be able to find it.
Oh, I probably could actually. That might help me out. Moral Panic 101. Yeah, because that'd be interesting.
It's basically a whole massive thing about how the right-wing press, the Murdoch media, and conservative people were actually able to hijack a discussion around destroying safe schools.
Let's read it.
It's really quite interesting, and to quote Benjamin Law, after you read this, you kind of will want to hate fucking conservatives.
But I think the thing is about safe school, because I grew up in New South Wales, so I live in Victoria now, which is like going. Andrew won't understand, but it's like a completely different state, and I was just shocked. It really is. Yeah, like I was just shocked when I moved to Victoria, just how sort of like progressively backward the place is at times. And like this whole safe schools thing was like, I was like, what's wrong with teaching people safe sex? Like we've been doing that in New South Wales high schools for a really long time. Like I grew up like with condoms going to like local shops in bowls, and I've been shown to put condoms on bananas and like all this other stuff, and taught how to like I don't know, I went to probably a progressive high school, but it was like, then this whole safe schools thing just exploded. And I was just like, why? Like, why are you people so fucking scared of this? Like, you might as well, you got to understand we all have sex.
Lisa, the problem is, and I can actually answer this, because what tends to happen is, especially when you look at things like sexuality and sex, there is always, as you both probably know, there is this incredibly controversial thing with ever talking to kids about sex. Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, there will always be a parent, there will always be a kid who's like, oh my god, sex, it's terrible. And sex within the safe school parameters is so small. It is now got to do with things like sexuality, gender identity, trans issues, and stuff like that. You take them and talk to children about them, people get so scared. Problem is that there is a rise of fake information from the safe schools banner.
Yeah, totally.
And so what happens is that people think, fuck, my child might become transgender. I know many trans people. The issue around being taught trans issues, being taught gay issues, that doesn't make people trans.
No, the concept that just knowing that something exists means you will become that is absolutely surreal.
Yeah, honey, I was basically, I knew about straight couples growing up. I only saw straight couples. Yeah, because I totally fucking turned out completely fucking straight, didn't I?
Yeah. It's my drink. It's God, that doesn't look like anything. It's a very.
What's in it?
This is a rattlesnake. This is not my invention. This is the traditional one. It's basically a whiskey sour with absinthe. So it's got whiskey, lemon juice, egg white, a little bit of sugar syrup, and just a splash of absinthe, which has given it that. It's like a very light green color. So I was like,
hey Andrew, I'm really looking forward to your new channel. Like, I think this is going to be a winner for you.
Well, see, this would be a good one. You always want to collaborate. This would be a good one. You could come along. And
I was just about to suggest that. Actually, I want to give you something for your new channel.
Oh,
Hang
cool.
on.
Okay.
I actually, have you heard of Eddie Torrado?
I don't think I have. No.
Australian cocktail maker.
Oh,
I have
nice.
Yeah, it's a book that they actually recommended when I did bar school.
Oh, okay.
So I've got this one. I'll let you borrow, and I've got this one. So these are like actual, like the guy who wrote it actually won international cocktail competitions in the 70s.
Oh, you should.
wow.
70s, nice. You should bring it over, and we'll make a couple of them.
And I've also got this book, Andrew. This is why I'm so excited about the fact you're doing cocktails. I will definitely.
Yeah.
I'm a trained bartender. I worked on Dunk Island. I got a really good cocktail for you over the making there.
Nice.
It's called an Island Delight. Oh fuck, it's
Oh, I
nice.
like
We
the
just
sound
gotta
of
find
that.
some mango juice. Look what else I found. This is another book I have. It's called Jugs.
Jugs. Nice.
Jugs. And the whole thing is just jugs of.
It's making punch. Okay, cool.
Well, it's like cocktail punch.
Yeah,
was going-
cocktail punch. Yeah.
I was going to ask Andrew, do you think that you'll make this channel more like a kind of Bon Appetit sort of situation,
Oh,
or
I love Bon Appetit.
or like a binging with Babish sort of thing?
Have you seen cooking? Have you seen You Suck at Cooking?
No.
I think so.
Oh, you've got to watch You Suck at Cooking. You Suck at Cooking is hilarious because it's a cooking channel, but it's like he doesn't use any kind of like proper terms. It's like wang jangle, fry. Like he doesn't say anything like that. It's just all these made up words, and it's just a complete like kind of like a parody
Okay.
of a cooking channel. But the recipes work, and
Yeah.
it's like. Yeah, you just got to watch it to understand what I'm talking about. You Suck at Cooking, genius. But yeah, binging with Babish is a bit more technical though.
Yeah.
Oh God, I
you know,
love binging with Babish, but I think
I love it. I watch too much of it.
So good.
I'm probably going to be more from the point of view that I'm not a bartender and never worked as a bartender. So I'm coming at it from the enthusiastic amateur point of view, from the point of view of like, hey, anyone can make cocktails because no one ever taught me how to do it. I just learned through trial and error. In other words, drinking a lot of alcohol. But
Actually, I've got a cocktail shaker I can bring over as well.
oh, I've got plenty of cocktail shakers.
Okay. In that case, then.
yes,
Yeah, go on.
As you say, I have the accoutrements with me, my little measuring jiggers and cocktail shakers and various glasses. This is not the sort of glass I should be using for my cocktail, but it's my cut glass tiki mug. I just like putting a big chunk of ice in here and pouring the cocktail over the ice. So,
Yum. Oh, look, I worked as a bartender on Dunk Island for 2 months, and I did a whole like hospitality course. Like, I actually was like distinctions in this kind of thing. So, yeah. But the thing was that when I got to Dunk Island, they never let me actually get behind the bar and make cocktails. And the few times they did, I shake the shaker and actually broke all the glasses hanging above the bar.
oh no!
I hit them with the cocktail shaker and smashed about 30 or 40 glasses in one
Oh
hit.
dear!
And that's coming out of your paycheck.
Pardon?
What you were saying before about safe schools, I just want to jump in. One of the reasons I get very angry at with like the Murdoch press and the other right wingers who had a really vicious campaign against safe schools. One of the reasons I get super angry at those people is safe schools came out when my lad was in high school, and he was just relating how positive it was, how the kids were able to have open discussions, and in fact, their school ended up having a quite famous trans girl in his year. She was on Australian Story, and now she's on Neighbours.
Oh, Georgie.
Yeah. My lad went to school with her. So, and the school was a really good school. It was a state school, and they were really supportive. And all the feedback I got from my lad about safe schools, it was just all positive. And so the bullshit that like the fucking Murdoch media did about it made me incredibly angry.
No, but I mean, look, there are people at the Murdoch press. Like during the Safe Schools time, there was an author by the name of Rebecca Urban, who is a Melbourne-based journalist, I'll call her a journalist, whose literal job was to basically tell the people who are reading Murdoch papers how bad safe schools are, how it was destroying the fabric of society, how it was going to turn your children trans, how it was going to basically make it harder for you guys to be religious, which is all complete bullshit. But it was making sure. And the fact is, the real success story, and I hate to say this, is the fact that there was a downfall of Ros Ward, the actual safe schools campaigner. Now, the Murdoch press did a horribly great thing. Actually, it was it's like a wrong way, but like it was so horrifically well done that it actually became the kind of what I would expect to be the real kind of nail in the coffin. So when she was ousted as the Safe Schools campaigner, or before, she went to an Aboriginal, some sort of Australia Day protest, and people were linking the protest to the fact of indoctrination and fear, and has said that they were bullying, that was bullying on the side of Ros Ward, and so she was actually going against the kind of terms of reference of what Safe Schools was actually doing. Now, did I think Safe Schools was perfect? Not really. Do I think it needed to happen? Absolutely. When you have stories like saying that there is so many LGBTI people who don't know how to feel supported in high school, things needed to change. It wasn't just the fact of this. The Corey Bernardi thing, thank fucking God he's gone.
I hate Corey Bernardi. I was just reading about his bullshit with the way he was going to try and get abortion banned based on gender. Because I'm doing this for this video, so I just read this, and it's like, you've got to be fucking kidding. This guy actually put forward a thing to repeal abortion based on gender, and like it was defeated like 10 to something. But when you read the names of the politicians that were in on it, you're like, you got to be fucking kidding. Like Fraser Anning, Pauline Hanson, fucking him. Like there's a whole bunch of them, and it's like, are you people that backward? Like,
oh, Lisa, especially when it comes to safe schools, I think the real kicker for me was the George Christensen calling people who advocated for safe schools, safe schools, the work of pedophiles and child groomers, and condoned a sense of pseudo-masochism. That's really what this guy was saying.
What?
Because he believed that gay people were wanting to indoctrinate children into making gay children, which is complete horse shit.
Yeah.
We believe there is enough gay people in the world. Sometimes we want people to be gay because they're cute. We want to date them.
Yeah.
But that's not
I need you to listen. You know what you say to fucking cunts like that? Pardon my language. You say to him this: if it wasn't for the gay man that broke the Enigma cipher machine in World War II to defeat the Germans, the war would never have ended.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have ended with Germany victorious.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for him and his intelligence, the war wouldn't have been won. And if they go, and that man was gay, and they chemically castrated him. And that's what was really fucked.
Good old Alan Turing, the chemical
Alan Turing, that's right, yeah.
The cocktail of drugs they fed him basically destroyed his mental health, and he died by suicide. That's what we did for one of the key people, and he was incredibly important in defeating Germany in World War II. And
without him, they couldn't have done it, Andrew. That's basically the long and the short of it. They didn't have an Alan Turing, they would never have cracked the codes. That's the truth. And that's what's really f***ed about homophobia. It's like, if you actually look back through history, dickheads, and look at some of the really important people in the world, guess what? They're gay or queer or whatever they want to be. Yeah. You know, it's always the people that are different are the ones that actually we need the most. And
Yeah,
anyway.
I was going to say, like, for me, the aspect is that I think as a society, we're even starting to question the aspect of a lot of like Binary, which is Carolee Smith's organization, which provides the aspect of there being only two genders and there are male and female. And I think what we are sort of seeing is the fact where historical books are actually saying, no, actually, that's not completely true. And cultures are actually providing the context where that's not true. I was just reading something that said that during, I think, the ancient Greek times, there was actually 5 genders. And it was actually the Christians who came in to actually force that down to 2. In India, there is a legal gender that is created under the law. And I think this is really important that people are aware that just because some woman who claims to have the moral high ground or is showing against political correctness or being an absolute cunt, that doesn't mean that they're being honest.
Well, exactly right. And the thing is, though, going back to the Murdoch Press and this whole safe school thing, what they do is they just play upon ignorance and panic, and they play down to the lowest common denominator. Like, I work with a lot of people like that. And like I said to my mate today, I said the problem with people is that they don't read. And all they do is they catch on to things that reinforce their beliefs, and they don't want to change and they don't want to learn. And it's really sad when you think about it.
Here's my thing. It's not about people reading or not reading, because people can read right-wing stuff and they can only read right-wing stuff, which will actually help to actually further their own agenda and further their
which is why I said, like, they reinforce their own beliefs. Yeah.
What really needs to be important is not the fact of reading and throwing through stuff. It needs to be actually, this is why I said to Andrew earlier, it's the fact of trans people, queer people, people who are from minorities owning their own voice and owning their own story and making it aware and putting it into the mainstream focal point so that people can actually talk more openly about their own stories and their own struggles. So people who are not trans, who are general Australians, who may not know a trans person, may not understand a trans person, will get the full and undivided attention of a trans person. The same way that if you are trans or you're thinking of transitioning or you know that you're trans, you see yourself on screen, which is fundamentally important. I mean, we were talking about, I was having a discussion like last year, about 6 months ago, about Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras changing its name, and we were kind of discussing why it was originally called the Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras. The whole point of changing the name of the Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras was the fact that because we've now moved on in society where we now have trans people and queer people and people who don't conform to just gay and lesbians, whether or not we can actually change. But what is really important about that is the fact that is the Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras was called that because it forced networks to actually say the words gay and lesbian.
Exactly right.
Literally made them become so aware that they were going to talk about gay and lesbians and gay and lesbian issues with a gay and lesbian party. And I think that's the biggest thing.
Well, that's exactly right. And I think you bring up a lot of good points there. And like before, when you were talking about, like, you know, those people that make like the whole minority thing like their identity, I always say it's like how they use minorities as a weapon, and they don't really give a fuck about the person they're actually fighting for. As you said, it's like fashionable, and like that for me like pisses me off a lot, because it's like you're just doing more harm than you are good. Like, that's the other thing.
I feel like I have to put this into context where I don't think that people are weaponizing wokeness. I think what it is about is the fact that we have people in our society who genuinely feel like they have to, because of their own feeling, they have to go above and beyond. So I don't think it's an attack or weaponizing the sense of wokeness. What I think it is about them understanding that they do have this privilege. They do have this idea that they're going to be okay.
Okay.
But the issue is that it actually becomes more of a pain, because what then you're doing is, while you're not weaponizing it and you're not using it against somebody, what you're actually doing is actually trying to making it harder for people who are people who just want to get out there and do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I speak from honest truth here because I am white, I am gay, but I also have a disability. But the thing that will firstly always come back to me is the fact that I'm white.
You think so?
Absolutely. The fact that I'm white. I'm not saying that I think that culturally and linguistically diverse people or people who are black or Aboriginal do not deserve to get those important things, because I think that's so important that we look at diversity and we really champion diversity in society. What I think we need to understand is that a lot of times things are made due to political intentions.
Yeah, correct.
And that understanding of perspective and this idea of trying to be an ally. Again, allies are fantastic, but they need to be done in a way that is incredibly important and incredibly beneficial for everybody. Because the problem is that it's very hard for people like me who can be seen, because honestly, if we look specifically at my industry, there is hardly any characters or any roles specifically catered towards people who are gay and have a disability or a form of Asperger's. I challenge you both. Think of a show where you've watched a gay person with Asperger's in a main role, whether that be a TV, a movies, or a web series. Because it was very interesting going to Oz Comic Con. Sorry, it was at a Supernova Oz Comic Con last year, and somebody asked a question about brain injury, and it was that exact question. And the people on the panel were stumped and said, "Why is it so hard to find someone like this?" And it's incredibly hard these days, given the fact that our government still looks at art and just constantly keeps fighting against it. But I'm moving on and I'm a bit waffling, but you get my drift.
I know what you're trying to say. Well, there was that show that what was it called? It's called Outland or something, and it was written by Melbourne comedian. It was like a piss take of a Doctor Who club, like a whole like nerd thing. And like I was in the Doctor Who club at the time, and everyone was really pissed off about it. And they had like, and
You're
Christina.
not class, are you?
I think it's like because Christine Arnoux played a character who was a gay lesbian in a wheelchair.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it was an ABC series. I have to find it for you. I didn't like it at the time because I was still very nerdy then. But like the whole thing was written by, I think it was Adam Richardson or something, and he's gay himself. Right. And it was just a whole piss take of nerd clubs. That's what it was all about.
I remember the one you're talking about.
Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about, Andrew.
He's a massive nerd. And so he was doing it from his perspective of being a nerd and queer, and there not having been much queer representation in that field. So he wrote his own thing to have the sort of characters he wanted to see.
And it was, but the thing is, like, it was like everyone was pissed at the time because, like, Christine Arnoux was like, you know, playing a disabled black queer person. And when I think about it now, it was actually really, really progressive. This is like 2011, 2012.
Yeah, it was a few years ago.
Yeah. But all the nerds lost their shit over it. They were like, oh, I can't believe that this is the thing. It's like you don't like the fact that someone actually is getting you to see how big of idiots you people truly can be.
Look, authentic casting specifically in that way is so interesting. And I've had discussions about it for years now. And I think it's going to never end quite quickly. I've kind of been thinking about this ever since watching The Peanut Butter Falcon, which is a movie that I talked to Andrew about before, last week, and that's got a guy with Down syndrome in it. Now, I personally think that we've kind of moved on progressively in society. That I don't personally think it's appropriate that an actor who doesn't have Down syndrome take on that sort of character. Not because I don't think it's acting, but I think it would be highly inappropriate. But I think you also have to speak honestly about the aspect of both where you draw that line, as specifically, I have an invisible disability. I don't mind personally if an actor who doesn't have a disability takes on my thing. I would want to coach them and let them understand my worldview, but I genuinely would not be afraid or feel like any sense of trepidation if an actor said, hey, let's discuss this.
But that is also, and I think this also comes back to, it's not the fact that you can't get people with disabilities to do these roles. It's the fact of, if their disability, if it's too severe, how can they do it if they're not physically capable? And I think that's the other thing too.
I mean, it all comes back to the aspect that there just isn't enough roles for people who have a disability, and we need to change this. And we need somebody to step forward and be the kind of Ryan Murphy in Australia who presents this sort of content. I mean, let me find the question that I asked a room full of disabled people a couple of years ago. Actually, it was last year. But where was it?
It's an interesting point. I just want to throw in, I think it's arguably more important to have these stories told by the people themselves. As in, it's arguably more important that if you're dealing with disability, that the writers and directors are people who have that lived experience. If it's about race or sexuality or identity, I think it's arguably more important that the writers and directors and producers are people with that lived experience, as opposed to the actor definitely has to be this. Because
I agree with you there, Andrew.
I
think you get more honest and sincere stories with people who have the lived experience, and they, as exactly what you were saying, Kyle, they can work with an actor and explain to them and help them in there. So I think the discussion about where does acting end and representation begin is an important one, but I think I'd push even harder to give more opportunities to marginalised people on the production side, the writers, directors.
100% agree with you, but I will say one thing. Yep. The fact is, it is really important that we provide the context of people of getting that training and getting that support to be able to then move on. But the fact is, if we just hired disability people who had no training, the fact is it does not provide the mentoring aspect to then getting well-made, well-funded filmmakers who've been able to produce stuff. So that they can actually produce content. Because I work at film festivals, I kind of see the content that goes through all through the time. And the fact is, the last festival which I still do work for now is Flickerfest. It's the only Oscar and BAFTA accredited film festival in Australia.
Oh, yep. I know Flickerfest, it's a good festival.
And the fact is, we got, just to kind of show you a bit of the ratio of stuff like that, this year we got 3,500 entries. We probably played maybe a 10th of them. So you are basically getting down the really shitty films, the poor films, the okay films, and sometimes the really fantastic films.
Yeah.
And so you've got to understand, if you are a person without any form of training or any form of mentorship from really fantastic and well-produced filmmakers, your content, your product, your film, your TV, your web series may or may not actually come off the ground. And also, you've got to think about the aspect that if you only hire people who don't have that training, you are then putting yourself in jeopardy of trying to access those funding needs, because we as filmmakers need the aspect of survival when it comes to money.
Agreed.
Right. The industry needs to give what you were saying, Kyle, mentoring, not tokenism, giving genuine opportunities and genuine support. And that means don't just throw funding and a contract at someone because they're part of a marginalized society, but recognize when particular groups are underrepresented and take steps to get them better representation, better mentoring, better training within the industry. Hey, look, it's going to get crowded. Who the fuck knew this clown would show up this late? Who knew this weirdo would show up this late?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Hi, AZ.
hello there, you fabulous individuals. Thank you for letting me be on your device. There was a big fucking question as to whether I was going to be on your device because of my device.
But here you
But
are.
don't worry about that. But here I am, you know, and I'm looking at people who are looking at me. You know what I'm saying? No,
Hey,
I'm saying.
I'm at home for once, so you know this is a good thing.
Yeah, not actually in a
Look at
truck while
that.
you're talking to us.
See,
Don't say anything.
no one's saying that. No one's saying that. I'm only saying good things about how fabulous you are. That's it.
Oh, I actually just got my hair done, AZ, so it's a lot more blonde
Yeah.
now.
I'm looking at it and thinking, don't think thoughts. Don't think thoughts. Aidsy, you're a responsible young man.
Oh yeah,
Not young.
people often say that. That's the thing I hear. That's the thing I hear
People-
about the traps.
People don't say young, and they don't fucking say responsible either.
They're gonna
They
say
say who's.
they're gonna say young before they say responsible. Is all I'm gonna say.
They really are, and they don't say young. Do you know I am that guy on the train and or tram that people fucking... I used to think it was me, but they being nice because I had a stick. No. It's them being, I'm going to get the fuck up off the seat because there's a freak here.
No,
I
they
am that
actually,
guy.
no. They actually have to give you their seat by law, AZ.
Yeah, but they really want to get away from him.
They
is the whole-
really, however, want to get away from me because they look at me on the train, tram, and they go, oh my word.
I just need to like say something really quickly. So
Kyle, jump in.
while I was doing a festival and I lived in Sydney, you reminded me so much of this point. Sydney Trains is kind of dealing with this thing right now where I've seen a lot of the Lifeline posters and stuff like that around kind of stations. And at my station, I was catching a train to Sydney and I had just got up on the train and this guy was acting quite strange. And I thought, yeah, that's a bit weird. And he was kind of like slipping, like had his like tongue going in and out. And I thought, I mean, I didn't give a shit. What I did find is that a guy who was also working for Sydney Trains literally looked at him and went, ooh, and then just started walking away. And I was like, I honestly wanted to just walk up to him. And I was like, do I do that because I have Asperger's? So maybe I'm like not reading the situation correctly. But I also just wanted to go up to him and say, that dude's a person. Did you really need to be like such a dick? I mean, I have Asperger's and I can clearly tell you didn't like him.
Yeah.
It was awkward.
Yeah, and you know what? With
Fucked.
someone with their tongue going in and out, in and out, in and out like that, and their eyes just rolling around, they were probably having a seizure.
Or they're high.
Or they were high, but high in such a way as their bodily health was in deep trouble. And there's been a heap of people who've just frankly died because people have walked past them and been awkward about what they're doing. Like you'll get occasionally a guy sitting on a bench, like in the train station or in a park, and his whole left side will be shaking, and he'll be crying out of one eye, and it'll basically or a heart attack, and people like sort of walk past and go, oh, that's weird, and they keep on walking, and this guy's in the process of fucking dying.
Yeah, but that's in nature.
Yes, isn't it though? But we here in Australia, we don't think about or show our young'uns in the high schools. Listen, you know, this is a symbol of sick, and this is a symbol of high as a kite. This is a symbol of dangerous health, and this is a symbol of call the psychiatric folks. This guy's not doing so good. And so
you'd be surprised at how people are like that, but they just don't want to get involved. You know what I mean? It's like it's not my problem.
There's a personal investment about getting involved. If I see someone who is acting strangely, there's a danger of me getting involved in a violent act. They might beat me up. There's a danger of me getting involved in a long-term relationship with something that's really toxic. That's a danger. And those dangers outweigh anything that I can do that's positive. So bugger that. I don't want to get involved in the freaky guy who's having a freak time. So
Well, they also call it the bystander effect as well. That's the other term for it.
Tell me what the bystander effect is.
Okay, so the bystander effect is where, say, something goes down, and you always notice how everyone stands around and looks at the person. And then that's what they call the bystander effect. When 9 times out of 10, most people are a bystander, and then you'll get someone who'll walk forward and say, "Hey, hang on, something has to happen here," and they get involved. So they're kind of like,
okay,
they're like
so the bystanders. They're like the warning bell, the light, the siren saying there's something wrong here. We need a person to come forward and make this happen.
Yeah, because they don't want to. They're just like, I know something's going on, but I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to. That's why people pull out their phones and they start filming. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But at the same time, when you get a whole bunch of bystanders, nice one, Angry. When you get a whole bunch of bystanders, you all of a sudden start to make almost like an alarm, almost like a siren. It's like something's going on here. Someone needs to step forward, and they will.
I'm that person.
Yeah, there are two sides to the bystander effect. It can mean two things. One is if there are a lot of bystanders, nobody will do anything because everyone thinks someone else will do something.
Yep.
The second bit is exactly what Lisa was saying. If there's a group of people, if one person does something positive, something helpful, there's a tendency for others to follow suit. But if no one visibly does it, there's a tendency to do nothing because they think someone else will. But if someone else actually does, then there's a tendency for other people to go, "Oh, I'll help too," and that's a good thing. So
I've got a third.
Psychology is weird.
I've got a third as well that you can add to that as well.
Yeah, go on, Kyle.
To me personally, I think that when you think about, especially the gay and lesbian community, especially the trans community as well, which is quite big in this, is that we all need to choose our battles quite wisely because you never know whether or not someone is going to get attacked. So
yeah, that's a good point.
With the aspect of a bystander thing is, while you want to be able to help people out, you also tend to understand that getting involved in stuff like that is actually going to maybe harm you because you might get attacked, and that it's actually more of a thing about making sure you personally have yourself a duty of care, so that you do
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, this is the investment we're talking about by being near the freaky guy. What happens if I get injured or damaged by this guy's violence or unprovoked act? What do you do about that? Well, you protect yourself. How the hell am I going to protect myself? I'm not a 15-foot Marine that's just come back from Afghanistan. What the hell am I going to do about that? Well, here's 80 tips for protecting yourself on the train. Look behind you and make sure you've got 3 steps to go backwards. Also, gently know where your arms are. Always approach someone with open arm gestures, because you're not threatening then. And get ready to put your arms up to your shoulders in a crossed formation as you're stepping back. And that will ready you for stopping someone grabbing you or hitting you, because your arms will be in front of you. Also, step 1 foot back forward first, because that brings your body side on and makes you target. So you've basically got a lot of options to help yourself not be attacked.
Yep.
You're
actually showing this thing that says, as black as my dark soul. This is homemade grenadine. I made some grenadine earlier.
Nice one, man.
So it's 50% pomegranate juice, because I had some pomegranate juice, and 50% sugar. So incredibly unhealthy.
Wow.
But it's in a lot of cocktails. So homemade grenadine, because I'm a classy motherfucker. And I just found an absolutely awesome drink that I've never tried to make before. James Bond themed. You only live twice. Cognac, rum, lemon juice, and grenadine. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. Give that a go, man.
So I'm gonna christen my grenadine then. So I need my
Grenadine christener. I've seen your kind before.
Hey Kyle,
Floating
do you
around.
do YouTube?
I used to do YouTube. I would like to get back into it. I just don't know A, if I'll have time, and B, what I would actually consider doing. I think I want to try and get into more film stuff. So, because I've worked at a lot of film festivals, and I want to kind of talk a lot about how people can get films into film festivals and stuff like that, and the specific examples and stuff like that. Maybe review a couple of films, but I haven't really got anything on the horizon just yet, because I'm pretty much working like a crazy dead horse, pretty much.
That's how I know
I've
Kyle
been doing
through
that.
YouTube. Kyle and I met years ago through YouTube things. So,
I did. We met through VidCon.
Yes.
I didn't meet Kyle at all.
And I played with your beard as well, which is gone now.
No, it's just grey.
Oh, it's just grey.
It's
Right.
actually
I was looking forward for Kyle to be playing with my beard, except we didn't meet at all.
which is a huge impediment, really.
Yeah. How's Kyle going to play with my beard if we're not in beard playing? I was going to say jurisdiction. That's not the word I'm looking for.
I like the idea of there being a beard jurisdiction, though.
I like that idea too, and I'm trying to get it out of my
Isn't
head.
that just literally called consent?
Well,
Hey,
both
Consent
parties
to be
do have to
implied.
consent to it.
Consent can be
I'll
implied.
consent to a bit of beard play by Kyle. And
Now, boys, I'm gonna have to quickly go because I have to go to bed and get up at 4. But I thank you, Andrew. I did find a really cool YouTube channel today.
Yes.
And you know what it is?
What is it?
Murder, Mystery, and Makeup Mondays.
Wow.
So this chick sits there and does her makeup and does true crime like story time.
Wow.
And she's got like 500,000 subs. Her name's Blair or something or other. I should put a link in the chat before I go.
It's not witch, is it?
No, go find her. It is the most mind-blowing thing. I sat there and watched it. I was like, this is a makeup thing, but she doesn't really do a tutorial. But she sits here and does this mind-blowing makeup and like talks about a true crime case.
Okay.
That
It's
would be
insane,
very,
like-
very different.
Yeah,
That'd
but
be
you know what? She got
really
to deal
different.
with the. She actually got to deal with a nail polish company out of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
As you do.
and
Why
it's
not?
like it's so different. It's like niching down in the niche of beauty, you know, and like she just sits there and she does like this really amazing makeup, and she's like, "Yeah, look, I'm just going to talk about what's been going on in my like this has been on my noggin,
Yeah.
and I want to talk about this case." And she actually like sets it up like a story, and she goes through the whole thing. And like the one I watched there was about the longest ever like family court battle in Australia, which was like Andre and Leonard something or other, and like how the guy blew up and killed a couple of judges and all this kind of thing.
Okay.
And I never heard of it before.
That would make a court case long.
Yeah, but it was like, this was wild. Like she really like, even though it's like the one shot, right? And it's jump cuts. But because the way she presents it, you're like, I'm really into this. Like, I want to see you do the makeup, but I also want you to get to the end of the story.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sounds good.
But it's all about crime. And she's got up to nearly 500,000 subs.
Understandable, because you come across something like that and you go, oh, yeah, I'll have a look. And you go, okay, I'm sucked in big time. And yet, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But I like it. Exactly. And then you start to binge it and go, I'm in. I have a couple of podcasts like that, but they're really rude. And Angry hates them. So I'm not going to advertise them here.
All right, well, I'm going to go. I need to sleep. It was lovely to meet you, Kyle.
Lovely to meet you as well.
Much.
Bye, boys.
Bye.
Bye.
I was going to say, welcome back, Adele, and hello, nobody who's dropped in for the last 10 minutes. And I don't know why I just did what I did, but I did it, and I'm owning it.
Okay, you own that. Kyle, you're looking very relaxed there, bro.
I am probably going to go to sleep soon. I was actually going to watch a movie tonight, but then that never happened.
No, I'm going to go to bed in about 10 minutes.
And I only just fucking managed to come on.
It's good that you got here.
It's good that you got here.
Thank you. I was just
time.
fucking. There was a few things going on. Yeah, there was technology, but there was other things as well. I'm just going, fuck it out.
Life.
You know, hey? Life, yeah.
Life.
However, I want to show off something while we're here.
Ooh,
Can you see this? Can you see this?
Is it a large pencil? Is it a joint?
What it is a bamboo pen.
Wow.
Oh, it is a pen.
It's a pen that is bamboo. And one dips it into ink like the olden days boys' schools where you had the desks and a little hole and the ink well.
Yeah.
And you dip it into the ink and you gently, very gently start writing because otherwise the line just goes splat all over the place. So you gently start writing, and then a few lines later you've got to press fairly hard to get more ink out. So the whole action is about learning how to glide the thing across the page and then firmly put the thing across the page, and to know exactly what the ink and the pen is telling you at the same time. And then you got to think about words to write. So I like to write duckling and fuckbag and turd burgle and smash the state. But, you know, one day I'll write a story and just set of random words like Venezuela, Vanguard, and Corona. Corona being, of course, the first spy satellite program in the world.
There we go.
So, yes, I've got my bamboo pen. So I've been doing something useful with my world. And it's not just me fucking sitting taking drugs. And I've got another project that Angry will be interested in, but we'll talk about that another time. And that's coming along really well. Kyle, can I just point out I love your hair.
Thank you.
No worries.
It
It's
is
a bit
it is double toned.
gorgeous. Yeah. I
Yeah.
could never get
I
that
think, by
right.
the way, I think Abigail got the terminology right. Your bamboo implement would technically be a quill. It's a bamboo quill.
Yes, it is a quill. It's absolutely a quill.
Mm.
And it writes as such. And I'm still loving Kyle's hair. Do you
That's all
know
right.
who
I
else does
Run your
two-tone
fingers through,
hair
Kyle.
really good? Is
Who?
Angry. Our man Angry does two-tone hair really good.
Really?
He often sports a purple, a purple on top of his luscious brown, and it
I
looks
haven't done
really
the
good.
purple for a little while, actually, probably for a couple of
You
years.
haven't, yeah, but it
Um,
still looks
when
good.
my
I like it.
hair it does go like spiked up, but it's just
Mm.
kind of like it's like me. It's like really tired, so it's just like I'm gonna fold down now. But yeah, it's blonde here, and then because my natural color is brown, so when I got it cut and it got it colored, this is ridiculously short. So this is
Yeah,
the first thing that comes back to brown, and then
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is blonde, and then the regrowth really happens just here. So it's now like actually, as you can see, it's two-toned now again.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, you gotta love that. It's
I like
a
this
pelt.
one from Stella. Calligraphy
like
helped with dyslexia because it forces you to slow down. That's
It
an
does,
interesting.
Stella. It does. It really. I tell you, that's why I started working with quills and fountain pens and ink pens and nibs of different form, because you got to slow right down, and you've got to put each letter and form each letter properly and gently and thoughtfully. And you can't just race through and make a splodge. You've got to think about each word and think about the sentence going out. You can't just
Yeah.
think it and go. You got to just think about that next sentence and
Mm-mm-mm.
form it, and then write it down, and then think about the next one and form it and write it down. Helps you with talking as well. I know that sounds weird, but it helps you form the next sentence in your head, and the one after that, and the one after that, as you're speaking. Because the trouble with a lot of the trouble I have with dyslexia is you just get all bunched up and go blah blah blah. And shut down. It's like, oh, but people have told me I can talk for quite a long time.
I have witnessed this myself, so that's a true thing. But hey, I'm going to go to bed now. Tomorrow being a work day. So thank all you fabulous people for joining in the chat. Thank you, Kyle, for dropping into El Streamo, and I hope to
Thank
see
you, Kyle.
all you fine people another time. But I'm going to say bye for now.